Well, welcome. Thank you for being here today. It's a great day. It's like Christmas to us as coaches. You know, this is what we live for, and we're very, very excited to get our season started off on the right foot and get out there and watch our young men perform and see who can really play football. So, you know, it's very exciting. It's my understanding from listening to our players talk that they had a great summer. I wouldn't know. I couldn't see them. But I've heard that they had a really good summer, worked harder than they ever have. And we're really excited about that. And I think it shows the buy-in that they have and the belief in what we're doing. And we're ready to get going. So we also got some great news today that great news for the young man and his family, but Taurus Batiste was declared eligible to play immediately this year, so that's great news for us, and it was a great job by our compliance office and our administration trying to help the young man and his family be in that situation. So it's a great day all around, and we're really looking forward to it. So I'll open it up. Any questions?
Coach, what are your personal goals for this team this season?
To win. But when I mean win, I'm talking about in all aspects. We talk about off the field, you know, learning how to compete, learning how to perform at the Division I level, and learning how to represent the university and our logo the right way. So there's a lot of things that go in with winning, but we want to win.
Coach, with an exception here at the very end, it was a pretty quiet offseason as far as discipline and everything goes. The players seem to stay out of trouble pretty well. Does that signal to you that they've bought in and that they're focused, or is that you just chalk that as that's what they're supposed to do?
Well, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to represent yourself, your family, your university the right way, and we've got good young men. And they want to do the right things, but they are young men. So, you know, you see all across the nation people making mistakes, but they're young men that need young men that need guidance. And I think our kids do a great job with it, and hopefully that continues.
A lot has been made of the quarterback competition so far. When do you and your coaching staff plan to make a decision as to who the starter will be for game one, a couple of weeks? Do you want to give them some time, a week before, a day before?
When somebody steps up and wins the job. So it could be a week before, it could be 4 days from now, it could be end of the season. We'll see as it goes, and hopefully someone separates themselves and steps up and takes reins of the team.
Because y'all aren't eligible to play in a bowl this year, what might your approach be with the freshmen in terms of redshirting or letting them play?
We're going to we have open competition, and any freshman that comes in, if he's ready to play, then we're going to play him. I mean, if they're ready to go and they're the best at their position, or you know, in a position to contribute, we'll put them out there. We don't automatically redshirt anyone. We give them an opportunity to play, and we'll see how it goes. But we won't waste anybody's year. You know, we're not going to let a kid play 3-4 plays a game and ruin a redshirt year. You know, they've got to actually be a contributor and be able to help the football team. And if they can do that, then we'll put them out there.
How do you feel following in the footsteps of Bill Curry, who really set up this football program here?
I feel honored that Georgia State gave me this opportunity, and I feel grateful to Coach Curry for getting the program started. And let's not forget Coach Dan Reeves that also was, you know, helping getting this program going. And you know, we're honored to be here, and you know, we're just trying to take it in the right direction to the FBS now.
I think I asked you this at your press conference back in December, but now that you've been here 8 months and have some more experience, what are the...
Has it been 8 months?
I think it's been 8 months. It's been a fast 8 months. What are the similarities and differences between changing the expectation levels here at Georgia State and when you arrived at Indiana State?
Well, everybody has to be reminded that what we took over there was a losing culture. it was a losing program and had lost for 20-something years and really never had much success since the 80s. This just happens to be a new culture, a new program. It's not a losing program. We've only been playing football for 3 seasons, going into 4, and one of those seasons was a winning season. So this is not, you're not taking over a program that's a perennial loser. You're just taking and you're getting it in its infant stages, and you're taking it, and trying to keep growing it. And that's a huge difference. You're establishing the culture now, whereas there you were changing a culture.
Are there different steps between those two things for you?
Not really. There is, yes, as far as some of the stuff that you don't have to get rid of, that you didn't, that's not infected here. But when it comes to winning, I mean, it's the same. It's teaching them how to compete, teaching them how to, compete to win, teaching them how to win, and then to compete to win championships.
Coach, do you feel comfortable now? It's been 8 months, as Doug said, and you had a spring practice to go through with the guys. Do you feel comfortable with your roster? Do you feel like you know the guys and you're ready to start this out?
Yeah, I think we've got a really good feel of our team and what we have. We're really excited to see the incoming freshmen because we haven't had a chance to. It's one thing to watch them on film or in recruiting, and then we can't see them in the summertime. So it's very exciting to watch them, the newcomers, what they're going to do, and then see what happens when they put the pads on. It's one thing to run around in shorts and a helmet, but it's another thing that when the pads go on, let's see, who's really ready. So it's exciting. We feel we got a good handle, and we want to see the young blood in there.
Do you feel like this team is ready to take that next step up to the challenge with the competition?
We don't have a choice. We're there. We're a Sun Belt member, and we don't have any choice. We've got to be ready, and we're going to get ready. And they're going to work. They've worked that. They've taken a lot of pride in being called a FBS player. And so it's shown in their work ethic. It's shown, in just the size of the guys and how it's changed. When you look at some of these kids, when they walk in the door today, their bodies have changed. So I think they've taken great pride in moving up to that level. Now, we've got to go out and prove that we can do it.
What were the reports you got from Coach Pollard about the off-season workouts, and was he happy with the intensity level that they brought to the off-season workouts? And also, you mentioned some of the guys look different. So who are the guys that stand out to you that you can see a physical change in their bodies?
Well, Coach Pollard, he does a great job with them, and so the intensity level has been there all through, the winter. It started in the winter. It started when we winter conditioning, and then through the spring, and then he takes them himself in the summertime, and the kids hold themselves accountable, in the summertime. So they're the ones that raise the intensity level. Body-wise, from the guys that I've seen, I think I've seen a change in almost all of them, to be honest with you. I've seen more definition. I've seen more weight, in a good way, in a real good way. I've seen just the attitude, just they're starting to raise up, and they're holding their chin up, and they're starting to feel like, hey, we can do this. So, I've seen it in all of them that I've seen so far. I haven't seen everybody yet. They have until 4:00 to check in a day. So,
Coach, to piggyback off a question that was kind of asked earlier, how has the recruiting process been so far for you here? You've had since you've come in, we've had a couple of commits come in commit the last few days. How's that process been in compared to like when you were at Indiana State?
Well, it's an earlier process here. I can't comment on any recruits or anything, but it's our process is speeded up here because we are FBS, and young men want to make a decision. A lot of them want to make a decision earlier, and our coaches, we have a much larger recruiting office here, and our guys in that recruiting office, Jay Volker and Nick Jones and PJ Volker, our recruiting coordinator, do a great job of making sure we get all the info, and our coach did a great job getting out in the spring and hitting every high school in the state of Georgia. So our process is much faster, and I think our selection, our pool, obviously is much bigger here. because of the amount of people that are in the state and just the Atlanta metro area. So, it's more speeded up here.
Since like you said, this is still a relatively new culture here. That all said, though, you're still the new kids on the block here coming in at FBS, and the expectations haven't, from at least from the outside, haven't been, that big here. But so how do you feel like the kids are taking that the right way? Do you feel like do you want them to have a kind of a chip on their shoulder about it, or do you want them just kind of put it aside, or is it a little bit of both? Or
Well, I mean, as far as we always want to have a chip on our shoulder, we want to play that way and prepare that way. But as far as outside expectations, we don't really pay much attention to that, or we shouldn't. We're just worried about our expectations. We'll have a meeting, tomorrow, and we'll talk about our expectations, and they knew it before they left of what we want to accomplish, and we don't worry about anything on the outside or anybody else's, because nobody else's can live up to what ours are anyway. There's no more pressure from anywhere else or more expectation that we already have for ourselves.
Last season, whenever the offense would get in a roll, it seemed like a turnover or an interception would really hurt them. It really plagued the offense. How do you and your offensive coordinator plan to limit those numbers of turnovers?
Well, we preach and we work taking care of the football every day, So, I mean, that has to be in the meeting rooms. We have to do it on the practice field, and it's just a mindset, of taking care of the football. And if you don't turn the football over, you don't give up big plays, and you're really sound in your special teams, you'll have a chance to win games in the fourth quarter. So that's how we approach it. We make them understand the importance of holding on to the ball and not putting your defense in a bad situation, and understanding that there are probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 plays a game that determine the game. And if you're turning the ball over in those situations, then you're not giving yourself a chance. So, it's something that's talked about every day, the importance of taking care of the football.
Could you just talk about the importance of Albert and a healthy Danny Williams? I know you didn't get to see a whole lot from them in the spring because of various injuries, but what they can mean in terms of
I've never seen either one of them play. They couldn't go through spring football. They're healthy now. I think they look great. I just saw them in the hallway, and obviously they've done a lot of work. I think Albert looks like he's in the best shape of his life. And he looks leaner. And I don't know if that's because he cut his hair or what. Cutting the hair is not making me look leaner, so obviously he must have really, really worked hard. But I'm excited about it, watching those two, because they've shown on film that they can make plays. They've got experience, which is, other than talent, there's nothing more important than experience. And everybody on the team knows that, they can do things to help us win. So it's important that they stay healthy, and that's our job to try to keep them healthy. And it's important that they have a good fall camp and lead some of these younger guys in showing them how we really want it done.
You mentioned that you don't get to spend any time with the guys over the summer. That was something Coach Hunter, with the basketball coach, worked hard to reform with college basketball, is they do get a limited number of practices throughout the summer to spend with them. Is that something that you would like to see adopted to football also?
Of course. I think, we have proposals out there to try to, get to, I think it's 8 hours a week in the summertime and things. Of course, you'd want to, we wouldn't want to practice them, but we'd want to be able to have contact with them and have them around and help them, in more than just football. You got young men that are showing up for college, for the first time, and we would like to be able to be around them and meet with them and those kind of things. So, yes, we'd love to have that. And I don't know a coach that wouldn't. We talk about it as, at the Sun Belt meetings, and you talk to other coaches in the nation. We'd love to have something like that.
I guess more specifically, is that something that you would be willing to champion for and lobby for yourself?
Well, of course. Yeah. Yes.
I Is there a particular area of the team that you think, I mean, and this is just based on spring and, of course, workouts, but is there a particular area of the team that you think is further along than another? Say, offense is a little ahead of defense is a little ahead of offense, special teams is there?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that right now. I mean, I think we have more experience on our offensive line and defensive line than we do some other positions. But as far as the offense being ahead of the defense or vice versa, I have no idea until those pads go on and we've been, out there practicing. And then you got to understand it's always going to be different when you're going against yourself every day. I mean, Joe Peterson's not a dumb football player. So if he sees a certain formation every day for 2 weeks, and sees a certain thing, he's going to know what's happening. So it's going to have that appearance. But, we'll know when we get the pads on, get going, and then we'll see, once we get in that first game.
Kind of along those lines, and there's been a lot of new things, that these kids have had to deal with here. New coaching staff, new division, new conference and everything. Particularly the seniors.
New nice upgrades in the facility. Huh?
Yes, there you go. But especially the seniors who've been around a while, it seems like things have been changing for them literally every year. Now you mentioned that they all seem to be buying in, but from a technical standpoint, how do you feel like they're coming along? Is it things coming along, about how you would hope to deal with all these new things, particularly offense and defense, and particular
as well as can be expected right now? I mean, are you talking about scheme wise?
Well, scheme wise, just everything. I mean, just scheme wise, like I said.
Well, scheme wise, they don't have. We're still working on them. Obviously, we go a whole summer and you're not allowed to work with them.
Right.
So, I'm sure there's things that we've got to go back and redo from spring football to get them going again in their minds. But as far as those go, I mean, that's a work in progress. As far as just becoming comfortable with each other and things, I think they feel really, really good, and I think they feel comfortable with everybody and what we're doing, and the changes around everything have all been for the better. So, young kids are resilient. They handle change a lot better than us old folks.
Some of the guys were saying that the offense is going to be faster paced this year, and usually that means that you've got to be more deep. Do you have the depth to go as fast as you want to go on offense?
We never have enough depth. We never have enough depth. But we want to everything we do, we want to do it with a sense of urgency and go fast. So it only helps our defense. It only helps us get more reps in practice. And the more reps you get, the better you get. So we want to do everything fast, and we want to have an up tempo in all that we do, offensively, defensively, and special teams. So that'll be a point of emphasis for us.
To continue on the discussion of changes you and your staff have brought, was there a purpose behind the change of uniforms besides just a sleeker, more modern look?
That sounds good to me.
No inspiration or to hype the players up, or who was it?
If
your
you
idea?
have to hype your players up to play because of a jersey or a helmet or something, then we got the wrong players. I mean, we want to look good. I mean, the other jerseys and stuff look good too. So, we in this day and age with recruiting and look good, feel good, play good. So, whatever it takes.
Can I just go ahead and ask mine? Talk about Ulrich John, and he's just a massive dude.
And looks lean too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does look lean. He looks. I don't think I could beat him around the edge. If you just talk about his importance in the offense and his development from what you've seen since you arrived.
Well, Ulrich John, in my eyes and the eyes of guys that coach and play in or scout in the NFL, he's a legitimate NFL prospect. And anytime you've got a guy like that, it's very important that he plays well, but at the same time, it's important that he's around other guys and other guys see that and see what it takes and what they need to do to get to that level. So, and from a leadership standpoint, your best players have to be your leaders, need to be your leaders. We have to develop leadership here. and he's definitely one of the guys, and that we're looking forward to leading our team and looking for great things from him. So, it's important that he's around and around teaching the young guys, not just for him to do good for himself, but he's got to teach the other guys. He's got to leave a tradition here when he moves on. So,
do you have planned or have you done any kind of leadership seminars, bringing anybody in to talk to the guys about this is?
we talk about leadership all the time. We spend it in spring. We'll have different people come in during camp and talk to guys, and we'll establish a leadership council with the team. Leadership's discussed here every day, and it's probably one of the most important things that we talk about.
Mentioning depth and kind of behind Ulrich, the focus of the last recruiting class was offensive, defensive line. Just talk about the importance of that and what you're talking about in the spring of becoming a more physical football team. And just for the little bit you've seen of your depth, are you pleased with that and feel like you've taken a step forward with that?
Well, everything starts up front, so we will always want to have depth on the offensive and defensive line. And we're never where we want to be. I wish we had more, but by NCAA numbers that you can sign and who you've got on your team, we're where we can be right now. We always want to be a physical football team. We want to be known, if anybody leaves a game with us, whether we win or lose, we want to be known as a team that fights, and it's a very physical, tough football team that plays with great passion. So that's got to be a trademark of our program. It's a state of mind that we're going to out-tough people, because you're not going to out-athlete everybody. At this level, everybody's got talent. Everybody's got great athletes, So you've got to separate yourself some way. And we want to be extremely talented, but we want to be tough and physical in all phases of the game. And that also means mentally tough, because not everything's going to go right. It's not going to be easy. This is going to be a tough go for some people. You're a young guy, you get thrown in there, and you're playing against a 22, 23-year-old guy, and you're 17, 18 years old. It's going to be tough. So you have to have mentally tough people and physically tough guys.